In this video, we are going to talk about what happens when you have Rahu in the second house and Ketu in the 8th house of your horoscope. If you want to know more about this placement, keep watching. Today we are going to discuss about Rahu and Ketu in the 2nd and 8th house axis. What is the second house? Second house is the house which is the house of resources. We often call it the house of finances, but more so, second house is the house of finance and resource and anything which provides us with tangible things which are required for the body, your basic needs, your necessities. All these can be seen with the second house. Second house is also the house of the things which you value, your friends, your family. In a way, second house is your social security. You're born with your ascendant in the first house, and the second house, the signification just next to the first house is your immediate family, close friends during their childhood, and all those who surround you. That's your family. What is a family? Family is the group of people living together which help each other grow. Second house is also the house of nourishment. Second house is also the signification of your speech, food, and the way you talk. All these can be seen with the second house. And now you have planet Rahu coming into the second house of the horoscope. What is Rahu? Rahu is the head part of the Swarabhanu, the demon which consumed nectar and deceived Lord Vishnu. So he is that part of the Swarabhanu. He has head and he does not have the body. So he is never satisfied. No matter how much he eats, how much he consumes, he is never satisfied. This is the signification of the Rahu, that he is always greedy and always wanting more, especially the material things. And when you have Rahu into the second house of the horoscope, by the way, wherever we have Rahu placed in our horoscope, that is the area which is kind of shaky, which is chaotic, and which is somewhat lacking the foundation. And Ketu, wherever we have Ketu placed in, has the exact opposite qualities to it. We'll talk about that when we will talk about the Ketu in the 8th house. Right now we are talking about the Rahu in the second house. Second house is also the fixed house. We have fixed houses 2nd, 5th, 8th and 11th. All the houses next to the cardinal houses 1, 4, 7, 10 are the fixed houses. These are the houses which are fixed in nature, as the name suggests, which stabilizes or establishes the change initiated by the cardinal houses. 1, 4, 7, 10 are all about the changes, and now 2, 5, 8 and 11 stabilizes them. Second house is fixed house. And now Rahu comes into the second house. Rahu has the quality of illusion, amplification, forward looking, advance, who is unconventional and who amplifies the things. So wherever we have Rahu placed in, we lack foundation. The signification of those houses are amplified, and often we take the unprepared and naive decisions with the Rahu house. Today we are going to talk about what happens when Rahu is into the second house. But before that, more about the second house. Second house is the fixed house. More so, second house is also one of the Artha Trikona house. Artha Trikona houses are 2, 6 and 10. So any lordship, any of the lord of the Artha Trikona connected with the Rahu, or Rahu placed into these houses, brings in the Artha element to the forefront. That will be the theme of their life. That will be the theme of their existence. Rahu and Ketu in 2nd and 8th is one of the most delicate and one of the vital positions for Rahu and Ketu. Why? Because whenever we have Rahu and Ketu in the 2nd and 8th are more or less act like Rahu and Ketu in the 1st house, but with the difference that Ketu is into the 8th house, and 8th house is the house of the death and rebirth. And when I said death, it can be an ending and the restart which is required for everything. Like Upanishad said, we have to unlearn the things before we can learn the new things. So destruction is also required. But what happens with this placement is, whenever we are working on 2 and 8 axis in our life, those who have this placement, if they fail to take care of this axis, it can be the most challenging, and the effects of that failure directly affects the 2nd house, which is the house of nourishment and of basic needs, and the 8th house, which is the death and rebirth, and more so it is the 2nd house to the partner, basic needs of a partner. So if a person who has Rahu in the 2nd and Ketu in the 8th house fail to harmonize the 2nd and 8th house of the horoscope, they face sudden ups and downs with these houses. Those who have Rahu in the 2nd house are extremely beautiful because they have Rahu close to their ascendant, which is your personality, which makes their personality unusually attractive, unconventional personality. 2nd house is also the house of finances. So the person with the Rahu in the 2nd house is extremely wise with the money management. When I say wise, if he is able to control his Rahu and is able to conquer his Rahu, then he is the best man with the money management. Okay, and how he can conquer the Rahu, we'll talk about that later in this video. But 2nd house significations of money are also amplified because Rahu amplifies things. 2nd house is also the house of food. If you have Rahu in the 2nd house, you will be fond of exotic foods, non-vegetarian food, spicy food, food which looks good, but you have to be careful with respect to the food you consume, because 2nd house is also the house of food, and when you have Rahu into the 2nd house, it also makes person with a compulsive behavior towards drugs, alcohol, non-vegetarian food, and this can break the Rahu. This can make this Rahu worst. We don't want to do that. So you have to be careful with respect to what you consume, because this Rahu will make you eat non-vegetarian food. Okay. Also, it will make you smoke and drink. You have to guard yourself against this. Another interesting thing about Rahu in the 2nd house is you don't have to yell at anybody. If you yell at anybody, you might feel embarrassment. because second house is the house of speech, and Rahu Ketu are often connected with our embarrassments. And if you have Rahu in the second house, and if you yell at somebody on the road, the Rahu might embarrass you. So don't do that. So while Rahu is doing all these things into the second house, there is Ketu into the 8th house. In fact, Ketu in the 8th house is a great position. 8th house is one of the deep house, a concealed and a hidden house like 4 and 12. 8th house is all about the occult, mysticism, death and rebirth, astrology, psychology, and things buried under the ground. Things which we have to discover, things where we have to go in deep. And now Ketu comes into the 8th house. More so, 8th house is also one of the Moksha Trikona houses. We talked about the second house being Artha Trikona house. Opposite to it, Ketu in the 8th. 8th house is one of the Moksha Trikona house along with the 4th and 12th. When a person have Ketu in the 8th house, in fact, these people are nice people to have them around. Ketu frustrates you with 3 things. Ketu will give you an ability towards the house he is placed in. Then it will make you demand the absolutes with respect to that house. And those absolutes does not exist. And that is the challenge and frustration for all of us. So wherever we have Ketu placed in, we are going to fail. We are going to fail miserably. And it doesn't mean like if you have Ketu in the 8th house, you are going to die. We all are going to die one day. In fact, Ketu in the 8th house helps person master the death. And this person can understand the beauty of the death. When you have Ketu in the 8th house, this is one of the best position for the research or deep study in occult, mysticism, or any kind of research or astrology. This is the best position to have. Okay. In fact, Ketu in the 8th house people are very nice people. They get along with other people nicely and they help other people. So these are one of the best people to be around with. The challenge with the 2nd and 8th house Rahu is to harmonize the tangible 2nd house with the mystical 8th house. In this lifetime, the person with the Rahu in the 2nd and Ketu in the 8th house is to go towards the 2nd house and leave the 8th house. It's like having a foundation of occult and mysticism for the financial abundance of the 2nd house. 2nd house is about your resourcefulness, is about your capacity to be resourceful, to be helpful to others with certain things. 2nd house is like, I need this and I want to get this. But when you have illusionary Rahu there, usually we don't understand that. What happens with the Rahu in the 2nd house is they are not aware of their needs. We talked about Rahu in the 1st house, the house of personality. They are not aware of their personalities. They don't know who they are. And that's why their 7th house, where Ketu is placed in, suffers. And they keep working on the 7th house Ketu. No, they have to work on the Rahu. Similarly here, these people don't have to work on the 8th house Ketu. They have to be easy on the 8th house Ketu, let it be. You have to move towards the Rahu, that is the 2nd house. So you have to build the foundation of occult mysticism and the understanding, and you have to thrive for the financial abundance. You have to thrive to know your own needs. You have to thrive to fulfill your own needs. And the first thing to fulfill your own needs is to know what you need. And that's the biggest challenge with the Rahu in the first house. They don't know what they need. And that frustrates them. And that leads to the chaotic behavior of the Rahu, which other people don't understand. The problem with the Rahu in any house is we don't understand that house properly. And we do things in a way that does not work. Okay? So when Ketu is in the 8th house and Rahu is into the 2nd house, these people are concealed people. Nobody knows what's going on in their mind. Why? Because 8th house is the house which is buried under the ground, and Ketu is the planet which is hidden and introvert and internalized energy. So when this internalized energy goes into the depth of 8th house, these people become extremely difficult to understand. Nobody can understand these people. Even they themselves don't understand what they want what they need. And that really frustrates the people around them. Like they might need something very subtle, but they don't understand it. 8th house is also the house of devotion and bhakti. So the spiritual planet like a Ketu into the 8th house is a great sign for the devotion. Okay, but in this lifetime, a person has to thrive towards the 2nd house and not the 8th house. In the Rahu and Ketu, Ketu is going to fail you. As long as you depend on Ketu, you are going to fail. And once you fail, that will make you think, why did I fail? And that will take you to the Rahu house. Otherwise, wherever we have Rahu house, we are scared of that house. Like if a person with Rahu in the 2nd house is asked to have the resources or the finances, that will scare him. But if he has to help others, these people are the best people to help others. In fact, they want other people to like them. That's why they help them. Subconsciously, they feel that they lack love and they need to be loved. That's why they compensate this feeling with helping others. They always feel that they don't deserve other people's attention, other people doing something for them. And this is subtle and back of the mind. Even these people don't understand this. But the moment they realize it, they are doing it, they are helping people. Why they are helping people? The reasons may be different, but the subconscious reason for helping others is to feel worthy of what other people are doing for them. Okay, so Rahu in the 2nd house people are great to be around until they are high vibrating and play nice. Okay, if they have a chaotic Rahu which is not worked upon properly, they can be self-destructive and they can take unprepared, uncalculated actions which can result into the sudden ups and downs in life, and which can be the most difficult to overcome due to the involvement of the 8th house into this. A person with the Rahu in the 2nd and Ketu in the 8th house has to harmonize the earthy 2nd house and the emotional 8th house, the tangible 2nd house and the abstract, mystical 8th house. The lords of the Rahu and Ketu play a big role in how this Rahu and Ketu will behave in your chart. You have Rahu and Ketu in the second and eighth axis. The second lord and the eighth lord will determine how this Rahu and Ketu will give results for you. Okay, they may be conjunct, and with the good dignity like exaltation, or maybe exchanges happening. There can be anything, and you have to look for all these points, and that will tell you the real story. Like I have Rahu and Ketu in the second and eighth house, but let's say the lord of the Rahu is conjunct Ketu, the lord of the Ketu is conjunct Rahu, or the lord of the Rahu and Ketu is conjunct into the 10th house, or are conjunct into the ascendant, or the 5th house, or the 9th house, or the Labhasthana, or the 12th house. All these will change the dynamics. All this will change the ultimate interpretation of what this Rahu and Ketu are doing for that person. Okay, so yes, if you want to know more about your Rahu and Ketu, go to my website and you can book a reading wherein I will help you go through your chart and help you understand your own chart. Or if you have any question, you can add me on Instagram at Pramanik Astrology, or you can add the comments into the YouTube comment section. I read all the comments and I try to reply to almost all the comments. What to watch next? If you're new to Vedic Astrology or Pramanik Astrology channel, go and watch how to get started into Vedic Astrology, or the playlist of rising signs or ascendant, or just go to my YouTube page playlist and start exploring the fascinating world of Vedic Astrology. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.